Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Juve Travels, and this is a post-trip video that I'm making. So the video is up. If you guys want to see it, it's 35 minutes long. I know it's long, but this way you don't have to wait for part one, part two, and everything. I just did everything all in once. And what that video is primarily about is to get you guys excited about wanting to go to Walt Disney World, because everybody should go to Walt Disney World. It's a great place. It's just amazing. And if you watch the video, you'll see why. What this video is about is on all the savings and everything that I did in order to be able to go and make this trip affordable. Now, I've been using Expedia for a very long time. Expedia I've been using since the first time I went to Walt Disney World. I signed up for it back in, I want to say 2001. That's when I signed up for Expedia. So I've been with Expedia for a long time, and I'm able to get some good deals with them. I get some codes sometimes to give me a little bit of an extra discount on everything. But there are a lot of prices on Expedia that are available to everybody, and it's all about being able to shop around. So I was getting to that point where it's like I'm like, I'm ready for a trip. I started looking online and everything, and one of the things I've been talking to a lot of my friends is how much I miss Walt Disney World. I haven't been. Epcot is my favorite park, and I hadn't been there for such a long time. So I decided to start looking at prices and found out that a round trip airfare with JetBlue was running just a little bit over $200 round trip, direct. No layover, none of that. So I never flown JetBlue before. So I started reading some of the reviews, and I started finding out some very cool information how their seats actually have leg room compared to other airlines. And it's only 200 round trip. Why would I not go? The first thing that I did was book the flight. You know, worst comes to worst, I'll talk to some people that I know there, I'll rent a car, and I'll drive back and forth. But I wanted the whole resort experience. I wanted to be able to stay on Disney property during my trip, to be able to have that convenience of being able to park hop if I wanted, stay there as long as I want and go back to the hotel instead of thinking I gotta drive at the end of the day. So I started looking at prices. Of course, I always start with Disney resorts, but a lot of times the Disney resorts at Walt Disney World are pretty expensive. Even the budget resorts, when you go to the Pop Century, when you go at the All Stars resorts, start looking at the prices, and it just got to the point where it was like I was going to be spending a lot of money, and I'm like, there's got to be another way. So I started looking again through Expedia, and I found that the Best Western at Disney Springs in Lake Buena Vista was running a special price, and I mean, prices were up to as much as 60% off. The advantages of staying at a Disney resort while at Walt Disney World, one of them is that you can make use of this little baby right here, and I'm going to talk more about this, the magic, the wristband, the magic, I think that's what it's called, the magic band. If you stay on property, you already have advantages to begin with, because Best Western and other hotels, the Disney Spring resort hotels have a shuttle. So it doesn't, it at this point for me, not having the perks of staying at the hotel to add to it didn't really, for me, it wasn't worth paying more. So I was able to save a lot of money to be able to stay at the Best Western. And I gotta tell you guys, this is my on-screen review of the Best Western. It was great. I loved it. Some people, I noticed, I was reading online, while I was there, I was caught there by Hurricane Irma. So I ended up staying 2 to 3 extra days past my scheduled return because of the hurricane. Flights got canceled, hotels started getting booked. So what I noticed, what I read from a TripAdvisor, some people complained because they said on Friday, before the hurricane came in, I tried to get a room, and I was told that the hotel was sold out. So he couldn't get a room, so he had to make other arrangements. He ended up, I believe the guy ended up renting a car and heading north and found a hotel up north, and that's where he stayed. That's where he rode out the storm. Well, he did this, from what he said, on Friday morning. That's when he inquired about a room. I didn't get my room extension till the evening on that same day, Friday, that he says that he was told the room was sold out, which is true. I went to the actual Best Western website and it showed that the hotel had no rooms available. Then I went to Expedia and it showed that there were 2 rooms available. The reason this happens is because hotels sell blocks to providers like hotels.com, Expedia, and so and so. So once those are sold and they sell out from making their reservations on their end, that's why it shows that it's sold out. So if you want to stay at a hotel and it's showing through their website that they're sold out, try Expedia, try hotels.com. Chances are that there are still rooms available through these discount companies. You might not get all the perks, you might not get all the points, but you will be able to stay at that hotel of your choice. So price wise, it was a great deal. I saved 60% over what I would have paid had I booked it through the actual website. So that was a great experience in my point of view. Now, talking about the parks itself, when you're buying tickets, the best way to do is get the Magic Your Way thing. You go to the website for Disney and you select multi-day. Now you can do multi-day for one park a day, or for an extra fee you can do park hoppers. Park hoppers lets you go to pretty much every park in one day. So that's something to do. The more days you get, the lesser it'll cost you per day. So that's the best deal to get, honestly. So I recommend, if you're gonna go and you're gonna stay at one of the Disney Springs resorts, get one of the Magic Your Ways bundles. If you're doing it through Disney, if you're doing the whole Disney experience and you do decide to stay at a Disney resort, they have this plan where you can just bundle everything together and make one payment. For me, that choice was still too expensive than doing it my way. And that's one of the things I do. I travel and I make sure that I travel on a budget and not spend a lot of money. Now, when you're in the park, this is one thing that I gotta tell you guys, that I was very surprised by. And let me show you guys. I'm a Disneyland annual pass holder. I have my annual pass for Disneyland. And while I was at Walt Disney World, this is a trick. Whenever I purchase something, even at Downtown Disney, you know, the third vendors, non-Disney businesses that were there. Not Downtown Disney, Disney Springs. Walt Disney World changed the name of their Downtown Disney area. It's now Disney Springs. So at Disney Springs, when I bought this little baby right here at the pin store there, I was asked by the cast member, "Are you an annual pass holder?" Now, I wasn't lying. I said, "Yes, I am," because I am an annual pass holder. But I made sure I let them know I'm an annual pass holder from Disneyland. And she gave me a discount anyway. When I went to eat at Disney Springs, they asked me, "Are you an annual pass holder?" I said, "Yes, I am, but from Disneyland." And I made sure I showed them that it's Disneyland annual pass holder. They gave me the discount. I was able to get a discount on food and merchandise 75% of the time. Some places won't do it. Some people won't do it. They'll say, "Oh, sorry, I can't do it." But you know what? Once they ask you, "Are you an annual pass holder?" You're not lying. Say yes. And if you're a Disneyland pass holder, happen to be visiting Walt Disney World, make sure you let them know, because half the time, 75% of the time, they will give you a discount. I was sitting at the American Experience at the fast food portion there, and the order got lost. Yes, I was waiting 20 minutes for my food. I didn't throw a fit or anything. It wasn't that busy. I was able to talk to the cast member, and after like 15 minutes, they're like, "What's taking so long?" So they went to the back. They took my receipt, and they're like, "They lost your order. They lost the ticket. It's like, that's on us." And after they had already given me the annual pass discount, and I got to talk to them, and the manager came out and said, "What do you want extra? We'll give you an icy, we'll give you a cookie. What do you want? You want a sandwich? You want?" I only wanted a cookie, but they kept pushing, so I took the icy as well. So guest recovery right there at its best. And on top of that, I got a discount because they asked me, "Are you an annual pass holder?" And I said yes, and I was honest. I told them, "But I'm a Disneyland pass holder." It didn't seem to matter. They still gave me a discount, and that was great. If you're an annual pass holder, take your annual pass with you. Okay, now I'm gonna get into this little baby right here. So I got this. Now the advantage of this is if you staying at a resort hotel, this is your room key. And when you check in to the front desk at a Disney resort hotel at Walt Disney World, you can also choose to say, hey, link my credit card to my room account. So that way, when you buy stuff around the park and everything, it links to your room. So before you were able to use your room key, you can still do that now. But if you have this, it'll link it here. And when you go shopping, even some locations at Disney Springs are set up to take this, even non-Disney locations. Not all of them, but some of them do. And when you're buying with your credit card linked to it, you can do that. But that's only if you're staying at a Disney Resort hotel. If you're staying like I did at the Best Western, that won't work for that. But this still has its privileges because you can link. Remember those passes I was telling you, the Magic Your Way to enter the parks? You can link it to this through the app. You have to download an app, My Disney Experience app. That's the one for Walt Disney World. Disneyland Resort has its own app, but they're both linked because you use the same account to log into both. And then once you're there, you pair this to that account, to your through your app, and then you can add your tickets to it. And when you get to the front of the park, you use this, you scan it, you do the biometric, you put your finger on the machine, and it lets you in. You go right in. You go through the gate. And then if you have a park hopper, you go to the other park to do the same. There's the little scanner, you do it. And the same thing, Fastpasses. Once you link your tickets to your app to link to this, you're able to get Fastpasses, 3 Fastpasses a day, even days ahead of time. So you right away you can get a Fastpass for Star Tours, Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster. You can get your Fastpasses, and when you get there to the Fastpass line, it's just like when you go into the park. You scan this, and you go right in, and you're done. It detects your Fastpass, and it does a great experience. When I was in line for Rock and Roller Coaster, there's an interactive poster in the waiting queue once you're inside the building, and the poster is kind of like giving information about upcoming events, concert, so and so is going to be playing. I noticed my name popped up on it, and I brought out my camera to take a picture of it. By the time I had it ready, the name had changed to someone else's, and I heard someone else behind me in line going, "Oh my God, that's my name." So what it does is this actually gives you an immersive experience in the parks. So when you go into the building, it scans your information, and then it takes your name and puts it into an event poster that comes up on that screen that looks like a poster on the wall, and it shows your name as being one of the stars that's going to be performing in the next couple of days. And that's really cool. I think especially for little kids, that would be a great experience. I got excited, so I can only imagine how little kids would be like, "Oh my God, that's my name." So that's pretty awesome. Staying at the Disney Springs Resort, the nice thing about it is that they do have shuttles, and they start running an hour before parks open. So if you want to get to the park before it opens, be ready to go. Get on the shuttle on an hour before it goes. The shuttles run every 30 minutes, and they run to Ticket and Transportation Center. If you're going to Magic Kingdom, they'll take you all the way to Animal Kingdom. They'll take you all the way to Disney Hollywood Studios, and they'll take you to Epcot. And I think it's a great thing, and they run an hour. I was able to get one like an hour and a half after park closing, and they'll run you all over the place. The only thing is, if you're going to Disney Springs, they don't start running to Disney Springs until 6 p.m. But that's okay. If you're staying at the Best Western at the Disney Springs area, it's fine, because Best Western is just a little walk. The Disney Springs is just a little walk away down the road from Best Western, so you can walk there. A trick to get around: if you go to the Ticket and Transportation Center, you cannot take a bus to Disney Springs. A way to get around that is go to one of the resorts, of the Disney resorts, whether it's a Contemporary, whether it's a Polynesian, whether it's the Grand Floridian, or pretty much any Disney resort will have buses taking you to downtown to Disney Springs earlier in the day. So that's a way to get around that. If you happen to be at Epcot and you want to go to the parks to Disney Springs from there, this is the only catch. The from the parks to go directly to Disney Springs, it only happens from 4 p.m. and on. You can use the app to make reservations for dining. I was able to make a reservations for the Nine Dragons restaurant at Epcot. I also made a reservation. I ate with my friend Jody my first day in the parks at the Disney Hollywood Studios at Mama Melrose's. Make use of the app and make use of the wristband, the Magic Band, as much as you can because it's a time saver. So as soon as you get there, and as soon as you have your tickets, don't even wait till you get there. If you buy your tickets online and you have the ticket number, just go ahead and create your account through the app, add your tickets, and I believe is if you're doing the bundle thing with the Disney Resort Hotel, you can get your fast passes 60 days ahead of time. If you're not doing that, but you already have your tickets, you can get your fast passes 30 days ahead of time. So keep that in mind when you're going. Make the most of it. And guys, happy travels. I had a great time regardless of the hurricane that only put a small dent in my trip, but I was still able to enjoy it and have a great time. So guys, shop smart when you're going out there. Look around for prices for your flights. You might be able to get a flight like I did for such a low fare. Another thing about JetBlue, by the way, sign up for their frequent flyer program online. I think it's called TrueBlue. So sign up for their TrueBlue program so you can start racking up the points. And on top of that, if you have a TrueBlue account, when you're on the flight, you can log into their onboard Wi-Fi. And if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, log into your Prime and you have access to all your Prime apps through their Wi-Fi during flight. So I think I only lost Wi-Fi connection on the flight like for 30 minutes, and then after that it cleared up. I was able to have consistent connection. I watched some movies while I was flying, and it was great. You can do that. You can stream your music if you already have a list of songs already through your Amazon Music. You're able to listen to that, so it's great. I was able to text my family, let them know when I landed and everything. So guys, happy travels. Magic Band. It was awesome.